What's up, everybody? It's Slayer Kobe here, and in honor of 420 passing recently, I thought that I would make a little video telling you one of my stories, a funny story. I thought that I could share my worst experience with you guys, one of my worst experiences ever actually smoking weed. I think it's a pretty funny story, and I think that you guys might find some enjoyment out of it. So first off the bat, I need to state this right away. I was a beginner. This was like one of my first times ever actually smoking, and I didn't really know what the fuck I was actually doing. Before this, I basically just pretended that I did. I would tell everybody that I did. I remember one time I brought a Swisher Sweet, and I was hanging out in the car with some friends, and I was pretending to smoke that, and I was saying that it was a blunt with weed rolled up in it. As if people who smoke regularly couldn't tell that there was nothing in there. I was so stupid on the fact I thought that I thought I could get away with that shit. So basically, that's how stupid I was when it came to this plan. Pretty much the story started earlier in the night. I'm going to paint a picture for you guys so you guys kind of understand what happened to lead up to this tragedy. So like I said, I was pretty new. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But me and my friend, who is also in this story, we're gonna just call him Swift because that's just gonna be his name. Me and him were pretty new. And we were kind of seeking it out that night a little bit, looking for it, looking around, asking around. No one was really replying. I didn't really have any contacts to really contact anyways. But then, out of nowhere, I messaged my friend. We're just gonna leave her name as Chlamydia, my friend Chlamydia. I went and met Chlamydia just to hang out with her. I knew that she had green, and I was trying to smoke, so I thought that she would smoke me up, which I was wrong, but that's okay. We're all okay. Everybody calm down. Because she ended up giving me something on my way out from hanging with her. She gave me a joint about this big. And if you guys smoke, you guys know that that's pretty fucking big. And she told me, she said, "Now be careful. This stuff is pretty strong." Now in the back of my mind, I'm pretty much thinking that she's probably lying. I'm pretty much probably thinking that this shit is that bunk. It probably tastes like a fucking squirrel's ass. But I was horribly wrong when I actually ended up figuring that out. So I took it and I had to walk home. So I remember thinking, because I was so new to the whole entire smoking thing, and it wasn't legal at the time here. And I was walking home, and I remember just feeling so fucking paranoid. I was like fucking looking behind everything, looking behind my back, checking shit, like checking under fucking sewage drains, and looking under cars and shit, and fucking doing somersaults. I was trying to fucking just get to my house safely. I was scared, which doesn't make any sense because we ended up leaving my house anyways to go smoke, so it was kind of fucking pointless. So when I think about it, I'm kind of just a fucking idiot for doing it. But anyways, I get back, I make it back safely, which was like, whew. And I go up to my friend, Swift, and I tell him, "Hey man, my friend just gave me this huge fucking doink. Do you want to go smoke this?" And he was down. He was like, "Yeah, man, fuck it, let's go." Like, but there was a problem. We couldn't do it in the house at the time. Like, there was no way that we were gonna be able to do it in the house. So we had to start sitting there coming up with plans on where the fuck we could do it, which was a little bit of a problem since I was so paranoid and he was so paranoid. And you know, you once you do it more, you understand you don't really have to be so paranoid in every little situation, and you can get away with some things. But at the time, we were just so fucking scared. So we decided to walk down over, it's just like right across the street from my house basically. There's an open field and there is a church. Now I know what you're thinking, a church, yeah, I don't know, some people might think that's weird to smoke, but hey, guess what? Weed's a fucking plant, and guess what? If it's a plant, it came from the ground, and guess what? That means that a fucking God created it. Anyways, so we were there, and we're walking around. We check the area, you know, we're scoping the area out. We're just walking, talking about random bullshit, you know, chilling, getting relaxed for this moment. And I'm like, all right, man, I think it's time, man. I think we should try this out. I think we should light this up. So I give it to my friend Swift because he says that he can light it up. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'll let him do it if he wants to do it. doesn't really matter to me. I give him the lighter, and he proceeds to put it in his mouth, put the lighter up, and light it. Now, it burned perfectly. There was no burning problems, we didn't have any issues with that. It burned nice. It started burning really slow, really nice. It was packed. And we just start puffing away. And we're walking in the field, chatting, bullshitting, just trying to enjoy ourselves. We didn't know. We didn't know if someone just fucking, rolled some tulips in a fucking roll up and gave it to us. So we just proceeded, walk, smoke, talk. And eventually, we were getting down to the end of it. And at that point, we really weren't feeling much of anything. We had walked around, and at this particular church, you can walk around the field, and when you get out of the field, you can walk up to this parking lot. And when you get into the parking lot, there's a road that kind of goes it's a curvy road that leads around to a sidewalk. You take that sidewalk up and around. Eventually, it will lead back somewhere around there to my street. So he gives it to me and he's like, yo, dude, I'm fucking good on this. You can have this. So I'm like, bet. I'll take that. I'll take the end of that. I'll take the roach. And I proceed to finish it off. And then I throw it on the ground. So at this point, we are walking around the loopy, street area. We're walking around the little loop. And we're still fine. We're talking and everything's good. But then all of a sudden, everything fucking changed in an instant. This is when shit hits the fan. Swift looks over at me and he says, hey man, I'm kind of feeling a little weird. And at that time, I was good still. I felt fine. I didn't feel anything at all. So I looked over at him and I'm like, no man, you're good. And all of a sudden, Swift isn't good anymore. He starts looking at me, he's like, dude, I'm not fucking good. I'm like, man, you're good. I am not fucking good. So I'm like, okay, fuck, dude, calm down. Everything's fine, you're okay. And I proceed to tell him that as we're walking, he starts to calm down a little bit. Okay, I'm like, it's not that bad, it's not that bad. And I'm telling him, it's okay. And guys, hold up 1 second. Keep this in mind. This stuff was potent. It tasted and smelled great. It was probably the strongest stuff at that moment that we had ever smoked. So right as I'm telling him, it's okay, and he starts to calm down a little bit, all of a sudden, I start reversing. I start fucking freaking out. I start not being able to feel my arms and shit, and I'm like, it's okay. Oh man, maybe it's not okay. And right when I say that, Swift starts to fucking just go into the same mode as me again. He starts freaking out again. And we're looking at each other, we're like, oh my god, what's going on? Oh my goodness. Pretty much right at the moment that he starts to calm down, all of a sudden my anxiety and my panic and all of that just shot up. Oh, it's okay, man, it's okay. I pretty much started to lose my fucking shit. All the anxiety, all that panic that he was just having fucking made its way right into me. It's like it crept up on me just a little bit slower because everybody's different when it comes to this, when it comes to how it affects them and everything. And I think it just creeped up on me a little bit slower. But before I knew it, I was in full fucking fledged panic mode. And I went from saying, it's okay, to the complete opposite, which is, it's not okay. Oh, fuck, dude. I think I'm wrong, dude. It's not okay. Fuck. It's not okay. Which just fucking sends him into an absolute fucking state of panic because he's already in a state of panic, but then I start freaking out, which sends him into an even more state of panic. So me and him are just fucking walking still down this spiral fucking street, and we're just both fucking freaking out at this point. We're looking at each other, we're telling each other, hey man, it's okay, we can do this. It basically felt at that time, because people who have smoked before know that the first 20 to 30 times, it doesn't feel the same way as the times that you do it after that. And you start becoming a regular smoker, or even if you smoke on occasion. The intensity level can just, if you smoke too much when you're a beginner, which like I said, this was probably the third time I'd ever smoked. If you do too much, it can just fucking into a whole entire another dimension. So it can be almost trippy at times. Honestly, it felt like I was floating. I couldn't feel my fucking hands. I couldn't feel my fucking feet. He was freaking out. He was screaming. We're trying to tell each other it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. We're like putting our arms around each other and shit. What were we thinking, honestly? So at this point, we're just fucking freaking out so much. We're trying to think of anything that might be able to help us. And we come up with probably the worst idea that we could have. We decided to play a song. And you probably wondering what that song is, and I'll tell you. It was LSD by A$AP Rocky. Now at the time, we didn't know that music and weed, it can actually, like, music can, like, blast you even further. We came up with this bright idea because the last time, when we had smoked probably, like, absolutely nothing pretty much, like a little tiny bit, we played that song in the car. And it was a fun experience, so we decided to play that song thinking that it was a good idea. So we play the song, and we're walking. At this point, we've made it around the loop. We've walked down the sidewalk, and we're coming up the hill. We're not too far away. But I'm telling you right now that this walk seemed like 3 years. I mean, I'm fucking serious. It seemed like we were never getting anywhere. We would look at one thing in front of us, like the end of a sidewalk, and we'd be walking, and it felt like I was just walking in still place. So the song starts up, and it was the worst mistake of our lives. And it starts up, and you know the beginning part. Doom, doom, doom. It felt like those beginning chords, I felt like my body was swinging, and I felt like I was just slowly just swinging up with the music. I felt like I became the music. I felt like I completely had left my body. No, I dream about her all day. And this basically, Swift was feeling the same exact feeling as me with the whole entire body high situation. So this just blasts us into this state of absolute paranoia. Swift looks over at me, he's like, turn that off, man, turn that shit off. I'm like, fuck, man, fuck, get the phone. Is it in my pocket, is it in your pocket? We fucking turned that shit off so quick, but it's already blasted us into the fucking next dimension, so there's no turning around from it now. At this point, I'm feeling like I'm outside of my body. I feel like I'm looking down at my body. I feel like I'm about 3 seconds behind my body. So basically, if my body was like this, I would come by about that long after. I felt like I was about that far behind my actual. So we both start holding on to each other, and we both feel like we're outside of our bodies. He's freaking out. He's telling me, oh man, hold on to me. We're dying. And I'm like, no man, we're not dying. He's like, I'm dying. I'm having a heart attack. At this point, it's just mass paranoia. We're in fucking World War III. There's no human civilization at this point. We're in the fucking end times. This is a means of survival at this point. We're two fucking brothers in companionship in this fucking shit. There's no bullshit around. We're fucking. We probably look like war veterans coming back from fucking World War II. We're holding on to each other. We're fucking telling each other it's gonna be okay. We're looking up that hill. We're gonna make it up that hill. And then it would just fucking break, and then we would break down, and one of us would start crying again, and we'd think that we were gonna die. We keep adventuring up the hill, and on our way back up the hill, something so ridiculous happened, but I cannot leave this out of the story. Sometimes, when you're very out of this world, high as fuck, in other words, you can see things that aren't really there, especially when you're extremely paranoid. And it was dark, it was nighttime at this time. So we're walking by, and under a car, we see this shape. And to us, we didn't know what it was. We were like, what the fuck? What is that? And Swift looks over at me and says, dude, I think that's a fucking dog's head. And I'm like, what? So I start fucking looking, and I see, I think just from his words, my mind pictured a fucking dog's severed head. So me and him start fucking freaking out. We're like, oh my god, there's a dead dog, there's a fucking dog's head severed, what is happening? This blasts us into an even more all-time paranoid state. We feel like We feel like we're not even on Earth anymore. We don't know where we are at this point. All we know is that we just saw a fucking severed head of a dog, and we need to get the fuck out of there. If you see a fucking severed head, you don't fucking sit there. Dude, that broke our fucking heart. I was about to cry. After I saw that, I didn't know what to think about my life. It's funny, because later on we would come back and discover that it was actually just a black trash bag under a car. There was actually no severed head. So we keep going, and at this point, we're fucking running as fast as we can. We're running as fast as we can, but then all of a sudden, Swift breaks down. He can't do it anymore. He says that he's gonna collapse. He says he can't run any further. He's telling me that the fucking ground is pulling him down. But you guys probably know, if you've experienced that can be a feeling that you can get if you have a strong indica, which this must have been a hybrid, because there was both aspects here going on strong. And it definitely was giving you that feeling of like being held down. You really couldn't even feel your body. And I think that was part of the reason why it felt like we were literally just levitating out of our fucking body. But we keep fucking going. We keep going like the soldiers that we fucking are. We're not gonna stop. We are on a mission. This isn't a fucking joke. So finally, we see it. We're on my street. We see my house in the distance. It felt like we just beat the main boss in a video game that we've been trying to fucking get to for the last fucking how many ever weeks or however long, or we just got that fucking item that we've been questing for so long, or I don't know, we just found that destination that we've been looking for our entire lives, and it was there. So we finally fucking get into my garage. We fucking make it. We make it home, and we walk in there, and it calmed down a little bit. We were still freaking out, but we got there. We were just happy that we got there. And we're sitting out in the garage. We're trying to waste time. We're trying to talk. We don't want to walk into the house. We don't want anyone to see us. We don't want my parents to see us. We don't want his parents to see us. I think his parents were over at the time. We're trying to stay low key. So we sit in the fucking garage and chill out. But, of course, out of nowhere, we're sitting there. And then my brother decides to walk out. So we're chilling. We're trying to stay low key. We're like, oh my God, dude. Like, this brought us into a state of panic. And so we're trying to remain cool because we don't want him to know that we're fucking blasted. And Logan's sitting there, and he's like, and he looks up at him. And my brother's like, hey, what's up, dude? And he goes, what's up? And he goes, yo, dude, your eyes are really red. You either have not slept in a long time, or you're high as fuck. Me and him, both of our hearts pretty much dropped. Even though there really was no reason to. I don't think he would have given a fuck if he would have figured out, but we were high as fuck. So we look at each other and we're like, but he didn't know. He ended up going inside, and me and him continue our little pansy parade. And then right after that, my dad comes out. And at first, when we didn't see him, we started panicking hard. But there's something, you guys might know this, but there's something about certain people and that you see, and it just like completely sobers you up instantly. It's kind of like if you like run into a cop, it's like you could be blasted out of your mind, but you're still gonna just come straight back 100% sober because it just happens. To this. And the high pretty much left. It's like we sobered right up. Like, it's like our minds pretty much took over and said, there's no more bullshit here. Sober the fuck up or you're fucked. We ended up just going inside. I'm pretty sure we fucking ate munchies and shit. And it was a good ass night. Hey man, you want to watch Game of Thrones? That's pretty much it, guys. I just thought it was a funny story, so I thought that I would share it with you guys. Let me know what your guys' worst experiences were. If you have any worst experiences, leave them in the comments below. I'd like to know. I'd like to read up on them because I think that everyone's kind of first time experiences is kind of something memorable. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Until next time, guys, stay safe. You know, always have someone with you that you trust. And yeah, that's about it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.